Welcome back to my floor. Today we're going to be taking a look at the limited edition DVD box set for Comic Party, the original television anime. This was distributed by Rightstuf Entertainment, who used to be a distributor of anime DVDs back in the day. These days, most people probably know Rightstuf, at least in North America, as sort of like the Amazon of anime DVDs and stuff like that. I mean, they're a fairly official place. Back then, they used to actually publish a lot of these things. Nowadays, they're mostly like an Amazon and carry a lot of other companies and properties stuff. At least based on the Rightstuf releases that I've had and I've seen listed online and stuff, they always go above and beyond. And that's why I want to take the moment to highlight how cool this Comic Party limited edition DVD box set was, because it might be one of my favorite box sets possibly ever. So we're going to go into exhaustive detail in some of the things that are cool about this. So let's take a look at the outside right here. There's actually a plastic sleeve on the outside, and we're going to take a look. But on the front we have some art right here. This is Mizuki, and I don't even remember this girl, but she's the cosplay girl. And that just kind of shows how unimportant of a character she is, because this character, she shows up in the series, and Kazuki works briefly at like a cosplay cafe in Akihabara, and this girl is there, and she also is involved with some cosplay stuff later on in the season. Possibly in the Bishojo game this series was based on, she's more of an important character, but in the anime, she's just kind of there. Don't even remember her name, and I literally finished rewatching the series like yesterday. But for some reason they feature her prominently on the box. I probably would have used a different character. On the side right here we have different characters. We have right here, and then on the back we have a couple of more characters. Right here we have the logo for Comic Party. On the top we have some more art. It specifies the limited edition. On the bottom we have the logo Comic Party limited edition slipcase art box, and it has a list of various bonus features, NTSC Region 1 DVD logo right there, and then also a logo for Rightstuf because they were the distributor for this. And then on the side you can kind of see the spines. More about that later. So this is a plastic slipcase, and it slips off. So you can see here, it's to sort of protect the DVDs. I really like when you get these, because sometimes, for example, like with a standard DVD box set, they'll have a lot of shelf wear, especially when you're someone like me who's buying these secondhand from someone who might not have taken care of them as well as you would as a collector. And also, like, a lot of these are 20 years old, so you can't really fault the people too much. But just having something like this, even if it doesn't have art on it, if it's just plastic, it goes a long way for protecting a lot of these boxes, because this one is from 2004, like I said, and there is basically no wear. The person I purchased it from probably took really good care of it, but other ones, like my Onegai Teacher DVD box set, it has a lot of wear on the outside. This is a really nice addition, and you don't see this very often, especially now. We have monochrome art right here. This kind of looks like a character from a sister princess, Sispuri, but I think she's one of the idols. Azami, I want to say. Very briefly mentioned in the show. Probably more of a prominent character within the game. And then we got some more panels right here. I really like this because, it's Comic Party. It's about characters who draw doujinshi. So just having the panels like this laid out is really cool. I don't think these are from the manga. Some of them look like original. Like this one right here looks like a fictional manga that would have been featured within the show itself. On the bottom we have the same bottom, and on the top we have the same top. So I'm going to pull some of these out here and showcase them. So it's a 4 DVD set. Each set has about 3 episodes on it, except the last one, which has 4. The cool thing about these DVDs is that they all have DVD extras as well as a bonus episode, which you didn't really see too often. The bonus episode for Comic Party was just like the Comic Party extra. It is 4 like 8-minute episodes, I want to say, something give or take. But of course it has opening and ending, so it's a little bit shorter. But when you piece them all together, it's about one episode extra of an OVA, excuse me. And around this time, you didn't necessarily see OVAs included with the television series. Like, if a television anime had an OVA, there was a high likelihood that it was just never going to be licensed. The fact that this was licensed and included with the individual, like the box set, that is really cool. I don't know if that was a unique feature for the limited edition specifically, or if it was included if you bought the DVDs individually, but it's a nice inclusion nevertheless. So I'm going to grab right here, where's volume 1? I think this is volume 1, but interestingly enough, it doesn't have a label on it. So you can see here's some art, and on the back it shows you exactly what you're going to get. Right here we have a list of extras. If my camera would focus, you see Special Mini number 1, which I had mentioned before, the OVA, art gallery, character bios, translator notes, Rightstuf trailers, all fairly, fairly expected. But the cool two things here that set this release apart from a lot of others, in my opinion, is a special booklet and then an interview with lead Japanese voice actors. This was not something you saw that often. There was a couple of series that did include this back in the day with the DVDs, but almost never you would see like inclusions of interviews with the original staff members. You were more likely to see like a special feature with the dub actors for like the English dub of the show, which in my opinion was not really additive to the experience, because the dub actors usually are producing, or at least the dub is usually produced independently from Japan, so they don't really have as much of an insight into the original production of the series. So they're essentially just interviewing them as quote-unquote fans of the show. A lot of the people who are dub actors were not necessarily like going to be giving you a very insightful like commentary about the show. Maybe just their experience working on a dub, which might be interesting if you're into dubs, but otherwise it's not really additive to the experience in my opinion. So other than that, there's a nice graphic design all around, panels like a manga or a doujinshi. Also, clear case, which I'm a big fan of, but we're going to take a look on the inside. And here is one of the things that I thought was really cool. So each DVD includes, let me refocus the camera, a special booklet like I had mentioned before. And each one is stylized like it's a parody of a different anime. This one happens to be Hack Sign, which, to be honest, doesn't really make a lot of sense, because I don't think Hack Sign was, well, for one, Hack Sign was never around when the original Comic Party Bishoujo game was released, as far as I'm aware. Also, the characters in the show wouldn't have been fans of Hack Sign just because of the demographics, I guess. Like, this was more towards like a video gaming JRPG type of thing, whereas Comic Party is more otaku. But you know, it's playing into what otaku would have been into at the time in the North America release, because like this was for North American otaku, so they're kind of playing into the zeitgeist, I guess, which Hack Sign would have been pretty big, at least relatively speaking, because I want to say it was on Toonami, and you know the games were being released and it had the whole multimedia sort of media mix happening, but I digress. So within these are an excellent collection of linear notes, similar to what you might find with a CD or an album or something, but these kind of go through and talk about the references in the show. If you're a hardcore otaku like me, a lot of these references you will catch, but sometimes I wanted to open this up and refer to it, because in one of the episodes there looked to be like a cameo or a reference to Initial D. I wanted to see if this was, this was something intentional, or if I was just drawing connections on my own, and sure enough, it was in there. So you can kind of see stuff right here. But like I said, if you're a hardcore otaku, you're probably going to catch on to most of these things. There's a lot of Leaf references, obviously. Two Heart was huge. So Comic Party was kind of like Leaf's version of Lucky Star. So it was like their victory lap. So Two Heart was huge. And Comic Party was like the meta version, or wherein like the characters were talking about how cool Two Heart was and how big Two Heart was, and it was Leaf kind of acknowledging their success in a weird meta way, similar to how Lucky started with Haruhi. But there's also a lot of other references, like there's characters who cosplay, like comic party characters who cosplay as characters from Shizuku, or what was one of the other ones? I don't remember off the top of my head. But it would probably be in here in the linear notes. Also references to, like, Onegai Teacher, I want to say, a Galaxy Angel, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So you get to see a lot of the references here. So if you aren't as in tune with the otaku references, you can have this open while you watch and see if there are any things that you might learn, which I think is really valuable. Back down here, there's like screenshots and stuff. And on the back it says cat or fish, which is the Dojin circle that Oba Emi, one of the characters in the manga or in the series, is a part of. And then also in here is a little postcard which advertises the Comic Party manga, which I also happen to have on my shelf somewhere. There's that right here. Alongside the disc, there's also a reversible cover, which is probably one of the coolest parts about this collection, not gonna lie. So I've actually reversed it already. So on the inside right here, what you're seeing is what the DVDs originally look like. So they had this like Rightstuf banner and stuff like that. Art is fairly similar. The back has the same information except rearranged. The interesting thing though is that if you flip the art around, it will be, as they put it, manga style, in the authentic right to left way. I'm not going to put it in, but if you would put it on the outside, you would kind of see that the main cover would be like if you were opening up a manga, and it kind of does look like the manga for Comic Party, or what you would typically see for like a manga art. And on the back is over here. But if you reverse it, it would kind of be like what the Japanese DVDs look like, if I remember correctly. And it also says Komiku Party in katakana and hiragana there. Personally, I prefer how it looks. I really like the background. There's a lot of like overlays and stuff going on over there. Tokyo Big Sight. I like the graphic design on this right here better, and then I also like generally how clean the spines look and how it all comes together. Alright, that was volume 1. The other volumes tend to be fairly similar. We could look at volume 2 right here, also with the Japanese box art. I really like how this one looks. I didn't initially catch on to this one, but this is actually a reference to Spirited Away. In here, more linear notes with references to what is being discussed right there, be it references to other anime or otaku media, or just generally like Japanese stuff. So this is essentially a more elegant way of doing translator notes, as opposed to like the translation notes that you would see on screen for fan subs, or with other releases like, I know Pani Pony Dash and I want to say Excel Saga, they have an alternate subtitle track that kind of puts the subtitles on screen, which point stuff out. Right here was the reference to Initial D, Start Your Engines in episode 6. Curiously, they include the opening and ending theme sheet music, so if you want to play this on piano or something, you can, which I've never seen this before, and that's kind of cool. Oh, also, it looks like right here the cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, kind of like a callback to the printing, because there's a doujinshi, they print. One of the characters works at a printing shop. Then sort of unrelated, but kind of cool to see Boogie Pop there, but this was included if you wanted to place a mail order, I suppose. Put that back there. That was volume 2. Let's take a quick look at volume 3, which is gonna technically be more of the same, but we're gonna kind of take a look. Once again, this cosplay girl that had a very small role in the series, but for some reason is featured fairly prominently here. I personally would have used a different character. Here's something kind of that bothers me. So there's more linear notes, nothing else extra, unless the original owner lost it. The thing that bothers me is that I can't tell specifically what this is supposed to reference, because volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4 all have these linear notes with a parody cover, but I don't know specifically which one this is trying to parody. It's not as obvious to me. I haven't really looked into it. It's something like, what was that one show? There's a couple of shows in the 2000s that kind of had stuff like this, but this one is not as obvious to me. Maybe someone else knows it, but it's kind of strange. They should have picked something else, I think. Actually, looking into it a little bit further, Volume 3's linear notes is a reference to His and Her Circumstances DVD release. So once again, more linear notes here with screenshots. In here we have art of the DVD that we have in front of us right now. These are the Japanese DVD art right here. So Volume 1 is the same, Volume 2 is the same, Volume 3 and 4 are different in the United States for some reason, which is kind of strange. I would have definitely preferred to have these, but then again, I like you more than Amy for Volume 4 at least. And then we have some more art on the bottom right there from the various magazines that this was featured in, such as Megami and New Type. Kind of go through right there. That's pretty cool. The art is small and you can barely see what it says, but I do like that they at least made an attempt to include something interesting there. More over here. Actually, now that makes sense, because I guess Japan had way more DVD releases, so maybe they put like 2 episodes on each disc. You can kind of see right there. There's Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, which are the 2 different episodes. So I guess it kind of makes sense. More official art right here. This one is from the American side, it looks like. And then that's about it. There's the back. More cat or fish. I just think that's really cute that they put the cat or fish doujinshi logo on there. Like, it's so cool because it's a doujin circle from the anime. Maybe it would have been cool to put some from like Karamite and Brothers 2 in there as well, but I think it's a really cute personal touch that sets it apart. It's like they cared for what they were putting out there, and they wanted to make this a limited edition that fans would look at and like want to keep on their shelf and be proud to own. Finally, Volume 4. This one I always thought was funny. This is a custom edit right here. Look at that Photoshop skills right here. This is obviously a reference to End of Evangelion. Also kind of funny that the disc right here of Inagawa U kind of lines up with if you flip the cover inside out. That's kind of fun. This is hilarious. More cat or fish. Once again, we get to see more linear notes. One of the hardest pictures of all time right here. Once again, the printing callbacks right here. The giant saw from Tokyo Big Sight. So it's talking about some of the references from the mini episodes. Back over here. And then it has the Japanese and English credits right here, which is nice. That you get to see who worked on it. And I wonder if it says... It doesn't say. Because it would have been nice to give a shout out to whoever worked on this DVD set. But regardless, shout out to Rightstuf for making this back in like 2004. This is one of the nicest DVD box sets ever. Like, the fact that they included linear notes, which at the time wasn't necessarily common, but you saw it a lot more back in the day than you do see now. Now you hardly see that type of stuff. So the attention to detail, the custom designs, the edits, like even if, Evangelion had nothing to do with it, and I think they mention Evangelion on the back right here. Yeah, on the back it mentions, join the comic party as Kazuki and his journey takes him through steps to becoming a master doujinshi author, while spoofing everything along the way, from Gundam to Evangelion, from Initial D to Wedding Peach. It's part of the anime world. If it's part of the anime world, it's all fair game. And as far as I'm aware, I don't think there was a reference to Evangelion. Possibly not even one to Gundam, unless they were referencing G Gundam or something, which, you know, sure, that, I mean, you can make an argument that they reference G Gundam, but then they could also be really spoofing like any other type of hot-blooded masculine character that what's his face was trying to do. The reason I'm a big fan of this DVD box set is just the inclusion of all the extras. This is my platonic ideal of what an anime DVD box set should be, pretty much in all aspects. I have no complaints for it. The subtitles, the official subtitles, that is, in English, are actually rather good. They don't even attempt to localize what doujinshi is, which you saw pretty frequently around the time. Like, I had just made a video about Pretty Maniacs, which was about characters in high school who made doujinshi, and it translates that to zine, which, I mean, sort of makes sense, but I think doujinshi is prominent enough of a concept. It's its own proper noun in a sense that it deserves to be left untranslated, because doujinshi means doujinshi. It doesn't mean anything else. It's such a unique concept that I don't think should be watered down or try to be translated. Instead, they should explain doujinshi as doujinshi, because, like, at the beginning of the series, Kazuki doesn't know what doujinshi is. He's kind of like how the average character or average person watching the show might be entering it as, like, what the heck is doujinshi, especially for North American otaku circa like 2004, probably don't know what doujinshi is, unless they're really hardcore. So along the way, you and Kazuki kind of understand what doujinshi is and come out the other end with this, this understanding of it, this knowledge and appreciation of the craft. And the subtitles do understand that, which is kind of uncommon. You don't really see that too much, and I appreciate that. So, like, anything from the subtitles to the packaging, I'm a sucker for the reversible flip art covers, because even if I don't flip the art, I just see that that the people, they care. In this one, like, I don't know, it's just so cool that you have the option to use the Japanese one or the English one. Like, imagine, dude, imagine a world where you would buy a video game, and on the one side of the cover would be the English North American box art, and then if you flip it over, it's the Japanese box art. Like, the world would be a better place. Some special editions obviously do that, but if this was a standard, that would be, like, amazing, that you would give the people the choice, because some people prefer one or the other, and, like, just having that there, even if people don't even know it exists, would be cool. I would pay more. I would pay more money for that, honestly, because, like, half the fun of the collector is having those, like, nonsense goodies that you probably will never use, but just having them there is nice. So, also, I think the dub for this show was not well regarded. It was much more localized, but I'm not a dub watcher, so I can't complain about that. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't even have an English dub. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, this is so nice of a package. Reversible cover art, clear DVDs, linear notes inside. It includes extras, interviews with the Japanese seiyuu, which is awesome, and it has a really nice box on top of that. So this show, Rightstuf did not need to go so hard for it, especially because I don't think Comic Party was a show that necessarily deserved it in like a traditional sense. Like, this is a niche anime. It's for otaku. Maybe that's the reason why they did this, because they understood intrinsically that otaku like collecting these type of things. But it probably would have made more sense to do a super special release for, like, I don't know, Evangelion or something that more people would probably buy and care about. But I think maybe because with Evangelion a lot of people would buy it, but maybe not a lot of people would care about it as much as a small amount of people who cared about Comic Party and bought it, because, it's once again catering towards otaku, so the people who like this show are going to care deeply about it. They did something similar with Two Heart. The Two Heart DVD by Rightstuf was fantastic. I I also have it. Unfortunately, I don't have the box or the slip. I don't think it has a slip cover either, but that's another good one. I think they also put out a couple of other DVDs, but unfortunately, Rightstuf did not stay a distributor for long. They eventually shifted their business model, and like nowadays, most people understand them as, like I said, the Amazon of anime stuff online. It would have been cool to see them release more of these, but the type of DVD limited edition box sets that they released were probably some of the best, and I just wanted to highlight this one because I love it so much.